I probably stopped and started like 1,000 projects in my game dev career, but this one is by far the most complex. And with complexity comes 1,000 details. When there is 1,000 details, there's 1,000 things that can go wrong. From our organization just being a mess to Plastic wanting to seemingly destroy our project, there's definitely some things we need to clean up if we want to keep this project going. So that's what we're doing today. We're saving the project from ourselves, basically. Organization is one of the most important things when making a game. And when you're making a jam game, organization is literally the last thing you're thinking about. So with this game being a game jam game, it ain't looking so good. This might be a stupid question to ask, but I often ask myself why organization even matters. Not that it doesn't matter, but aren't there other things that require more attention, like game-breaking bugs? Game-breaking bugs are inevitable, so understanding your project and where things are when that battle takes place will mean the difference between victory and defeat. And that's definitely the case with our project right now. So taking the time to organize your project before it even starts is a must, and something that is definitely going to take place from now on. So yeah, I basically just then took an afternoon and organized our project. The Unity editor basically has layers to how it distributes its assets within your game. So everything comes out of the project tab into the hierarchy tab, and the hierarchy tab is basically a representation of everything that's in your game. So making sure all of these things make sense and are labeled correctly will mean that everything will flow together naturally. So that's what I did, and in doing that, it revealed even more things that needed to be fixed. See, when we made this game, there were things we just didn't have time to add. With it being a jam setting, a lot of things got left on the cutting room floor. So with this being an idea that we really wanted to flesh out, we wanted to add those things. So we downloaded a kit. It was a large kit that was basically a whole nother game, and that's when things got very messy. I really hope everybody listening to this is like, wow, that's something not to do, because our project was just not prepared for something like this. Now I want to be very clear that this is something that you can do and that you should do in some cases. And I do think that this was the right call for our project, but our project was just not ready for it. This was a great lesson to learn though, because I believe using pre-made assets is kind of the future of game development. And what I mean by that is allowing other talented people to fill in the gaps where you lack that talent will make the end result so much better, in most cases. So while I don't regret using these kits, I do regret that I didn't prepare the project, which I will remember for the future. So how did I resolve this and prepare for the future? I feel like the main thing I run into when I merge these projects is conflicting scripts. And this is really easy to dodge. All you have to do is look at the scripts when you're downloading a kit or an asset pack and look at your own project to see if they conflict each other. At the end of the day, you just pick which one you think you want to work with and delete the other one. It really is sort of that easy. It's much easier to do it before the things come into your project than after. Once it is in your project, it is a little bit more dicey. You need to make sure you're deleting the right things and making sure you're pruning everything that you don't want, which is basically what I did at the end of the day. I basically created a new folder, and everything that was in the new project I put into that folder and labeled it new project. I didn't necessarily delete everything from those other projects, I just deleted what was necessary. If you do end up having to go this route where you have to go back and delete things, make sure you allot yourself time. Deleting and moving different assets within your project will take time. At least it does for me. So with those two giant things out of the way, we were in the clear, you know, right? We were done with the whole fiasco? No, not even close. Plastic, SCM or SMC or whatever it's called, decided to take a big old dump on our project. It was actually my fault. But it was confusing. I'm not really sure when this took place, but Unity and Plastic collaborated sort of in a new way. And so I was using the old Plastic and also sort of integrated the new Plastic into our project. So basically I mislabeled the project within the cloud server. At least I think that's what happened. So this led to mountains of confusion. I would update the project in Plastic and Greg would not get those updates. We even went as far as downloading the project onto a thumb drive and then exchanging that thumb drive back and forth in hoping that we would get the same project. This was a band-aid and did not resolve the issue long term. There's probably so many better ways we could have went about fixing this issue, but at the end of the day, what we ended up doing was basically starting a new project within the cloud that we both had access to. This did fix the problem, but it did set us back quite a few steps in the development process. All those steps I had mentioned previously had to be redone because I needed to use an older build of the game. So at the end of the day, we basically had to restart our project like 3 times. The hardest part of the whole thing was that we had never dealt with an issue like this before. And finding experts to ask your questions about Plastic is a tough thing to find. So on top of all of those crazy things, we had added a time constraint of about 2 months. At the beginning of all this, we didn't really see a problem with it. We knew it was going to be tight and we knew it was going to be a challenge, but the ideas we had in our mind seemed feasible. We did not expect there to be problems with plastic and organization issues because we had never come across them before. But where you don't expect an issue to arise, that's where issues typically arise. And when there's issues that you've never faced before, learning to overcome them takes time. And we didn't have time. So stress levels mounted. And corners started getting cut. And that is something that I really wanted to avoid with this project, obviously. So with all those issues, as well as the actual development that still needed to take place, you had the holiday season to just go over all of that. Yeah, it's been pretty stressful here. So it wasn't an easy decision, but with all that we wanted to do with this project, we decided to push it back. We love this game and the story it tells in its setting and its vibe, and we really just want to give it the love and time it deserves. I find it hilarious because everybody tells you to just double the amount of time you think it takes to make a game, and I thought I did that, but things happen. The development process is so complex. There are 1,000 things that could go wrong. And in this case, 1,000 things did go wrong. But you can't neglect the importance of mental health in this process, because if you don't, your project will suffer for it. And that's the last thing you want, because this is a dream scenario. We are creating worlds here, and we can't allow ourselves to get in the way of that. This whole process has reminded me of that amazing quote from Miyamoto, the creator of Mario and Zelda. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. In a world where games can now be updated after they're released, the mindset behind this is still so valuable. And with this being the first project that we want to sell and we want people to buy and enjoy, giving this game the time it deserves is a must. With that in mind, we are still going to give it a deadline of maybe the first quarter of the new year, but making sure our project is finished and up to our standard is the most important thing. And there's still going to be devlogs like this. There's still so much we want to add to this game, and there's still so much content that I want to make for you guys in regards to this video. So I hope you guys stick around. This past month has been a wild ride, and I have enjoyed all of your guys' feedback and input so much. Like I said, we're going to continue making videos like this, so please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe so you get more updates and can just stay tuned. Even though the last month was a fiasco, we are still super excited about the future because it is a bright one. So be sure to stick around. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the next one.